Hey, everybody! Just wanted to ask you to like and subscribe us on Google, share us, uh, give us 5 stars if you like it. If you don't. Uh, we want to continue pushing back and fighting back in a real way. I've also got opponents right now. The Republicans are trying to figure out who they're going to put up against me. If you want to send us a few dollars, RolandForTexas.com, RolandForTexas.com. There is a little button for you to donate. Thank you all so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fortitude with Roland Gutierrez. Proud to be your Texas Senator in Senate District 19 in South Texas. Here with Marty and Giorgio. We're having a good time today. We are celebrating something very special to San Antonio. It's a day off in San Antonio. It's a Friday today, and we're trying to, keep doing these shows on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but I keep putting them off. No, I'm not depressed this week.
No, he's
Just a little busy.
in a pretty good mood this week. Yeah.
Really, really, really busy. And so because we have Fortitude, because we're going to finish, we got to do the show. We're going to do the show, and if it's on a Friday, it's a Friday. But today is a city holiday in San Antonio, and it's called the Battle of Flowers, which is celebrating actual battle, the Battle of
San Jacinto.
San Jacinto, which is where Santana was
Defeated, I think.
defeated.
Right? Yeah.
Defeated.
I mean, I'm not really good in Texas history because
So it was after the Alamo, and then San Jacinto, quick battle. You know the story behind that?
I don't because I didn't go to 8th grade here, but Giorgio did.
You know the story on this one?
The Battle of San Jacinto?
Yeah.
Let me
The
see.
backstory. It's always about a woman.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for toxicity or some shit on that one, but anyway, it's about a woman.
Is it about a woman?
Yep,
Okay.
it's about a woman.
Okay.
Her name was Emily Morgan,
Yeah, like the hotel.
like the hotel. That's right. Have you heard this backstory?
No, it laid on me.
So, it's probably some kind of anglicized bullshit because, the Alamo's always remember the Alamo and all this other stuff. And, let's be clear, this was Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in the Alamo were actually trying to take the land away from Mexico, not the other way around.
I mean, it's a little more complicated than that. Texas was its own country or about to be.
About to be. My great uncle, Bernardo Gutierrez de Lara, was one of those filibusters that was trying to create Texas as a nation. Have I told you this?
The impresarios. Is it filibusters or impresarios?
There were filibusters, is what they called them.
Okay.
It's in the history of Texas. Look it up.
I will.
Bernardo Gutierrez de Lara, governor for a little bit,
Of
the nascent country of Texas. So for all you white Republicans that think that you somehow have some kind of ownership of this place, no, you don't. You stole it. Your ancestors stole it. This was Mexico. Santana came to defend against these folks in the Alamo. And I'm good with it. Hey, I'm glad to be an American. I'm good with it. But let's just tell the history for what it is and not some horseshit version of it.
that's
right?
fair. And
Talk about that.
when you go to this Texas Senate, you'll see on the gallery walls the horseshit version of Texas history and U.S. history.
Hmm.
And on the Texas Senate gallery walls, you'll see Confederates, slave owners, militant, violent impresarios, a few modern senators, but you won't see Dwight Eisenhower, who was born in Texas.
Yeah.
And you won't see you won't see Babe Schwartz, or you won't see any other historic Texas senator, or very few of them at least, because it's clogged up with Confederates and
Slave owners.
slavers.
Yeah, slavers.
Yeah, and
We've asked over and over for them to take it down, and they haven't done it, have they?
I mean, I think that there's a general sense in the leadership that they need to be removed in some way, but there's a lot of pushback on the among other parts of the leadership. And I would love to get more modern sense of history, because when we choose places to honor, when we choose people to honor, it helps inform what we do in a way we can't even measure. It's just always there.
No, yeah. I mean, so the Alamo stuff is one thing. Marty's talking to you about something, adjacent to that at that time. And certainly our building is replete mostly with Confederate bullshit. And, that was all about slavery for the most part. And we're not having any part of that.
And Klansmen.
And Klansmen, yeah.
In the house portrait gallery, there's a Knight of the White Camellia. He's one of the fathers of the Texas KKK. And he was a Texas House member. He was an important Texas House member, but he's right there.
I would disagree with you in that there is leadership trying to take this down. Patrick likes to talk about it, but he doesn't really do anything about it. That's the lieutenant governor in Texas. He put up a portrait of a woman named Opal Lee.
Yeah, and
it was nice.
When he did that, he replaced. No one really clocked this, but he replaced an old painting of someone no one knew about, who was a Confederate. And so I think he's trying to do addition by subtraction, whereas I just want to take them all off the wall and put up modern heroes.
Yeah, and he talks about that too, right? I mean, more so than the asshole governor, Greg Abbott. That son of a bitch doesn't want to do anything.
Nothing.
So, at least Patrick is talking the game. Sometimes he's doing some actions on it. Very, very, very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And so at some point, white supremacists in the legislature, give it up. I mean, just give it up. Today we're going to talk about friendship. Talk about who's your friend.
Texas means friendship.
That's what they like to say.
That's what they like to say.
Before we go on, I just finished a couple of tacos from a place next door called El Maizal, Maizal. The reason they're great is because they make their own tortillas there. It's just fabulous. Their barbacoa is amazing. You guys know what barbacoa is, where it came from. So barbecue, also, not a white thing.
Disagree.
Oh, you're full of shit. Barbecue comes from barbacoa.
No.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't. It just doesn't. It's just not true.
The method by which you cook barbecue is entirely a Spanish-Mexican method.
That is.
I've proven you wrong so many times, and I don't care what you're going to pull out on your phone. I've proven you wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
No. Well, I mean, this is what the Frugal Gourmet said to me. Not to me, but when he was on this TV show, he says that barbecue comes from when we cook a whole pig. And this is cross-cultural.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called barbecue because it comes from the barb to the Q, meaning the beard of the goat or pig, the tail. Barbecue.
Yeah, and where did that word come from, barbacoa?
Oh, barbacoa is certainly Spanish. There's no doubt that.
Yeah.
Right, but...
All of this, by the way, so barbacoa is cheek and the head of a cow, and it's just fabulous. And sometimes you can get the tongue.
Yeah, the tongue's good.
The tongue is really fabulous. Slow cooked for hours. These guys do a special thing with their barbacoa. They cut a lot of the grease out, which is nice. It produces a lot of fat, a lot of grease, and these guys have managed to somehow, make sure that you're getting a less greasy product. So I really love that. And you and I will have another show on barbacoa, so I will prove you wrong.
I mean, you can prove me wrong all you want. I don't care about being wrong, but I just know that these things have more complicated histories than people.
Well, sure they do. I mean, yes, in Africa they were doing something like barbecue. In Ireland they were doing something like barbecue. But the concept of barbacoa and how it came about. Did you ever see the movie Giant?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's my mom's favorite movie.
My favorite movie, one of my favorites. You and I talked about another couple of favorite movies. HUD. Loved HUD with Paul Newman.
It's a great movie. That's a great movie.
But in Giant, when they're having the big barbecue, they're actually cooking the whole calf underground.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Mexicans are cooking it for the white people. All right. I digress. Where was I? We were going to talk about friendship. Who's your friend? Republicans aren't your friend. Farmers, the Republicans aren't your friend. They screw you over all the time. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Donald Trump is certainly not your friend. Not your friend. The guy's trying to rob you blind every day. He wakes up. How am I going to fuck with the United States some more? That's what he says. How am I going to make money today?
Yeah. I'll tariff Vietnam and then release the tariff when they agree to let me fast track a golf course for my personal family.
Yeah, I think Iran's kind of in on the play now.
Yeah.
This morning they said, peace talks today. We're sending us, negotiators on a Friday. And so I imagine the stock market, reacts a certain way. And
Short, long.
Mm-hmm.
they're in on it now because Trump and his kids are doing quite well. You were telling me about the young kid making a whole bunch of money.
$90 million a week.
Barron.
A week. Speak up, Marty.
I'm afraid this is my voice. We're all going to have to live with
No,
it.
but how much? 90? What?
I mean, I heard several. I mean, these are unconfirmed reports. It's based on things that we don't know. So it's allegedly $90 million a week. And the Trump family has increased their fortune by billions since he got into office. And most of it's crypto. So Trump, for instance, has increased his personal wealth by $4 billion, and 75% of it is crypto.
This motherfucker's not your friend. He never was your friend, and he wasn't a billionaire when he started all this. He claimed he was a $9 billion guy in Trump 1. It turned out he was a hell of a lot less than that. And as I always said, he might have had about $1 billion because everything was tied up in debt.
Sure.
Nobody would give this guy a loan. He had to go to Deutsche Bank. He had to go find friends like Putin. And Putin hooked him up, probably, with Deutsche Bank guys. Who knows? We don't know the full story there.
And we never will.
And we never will. And we never will. They're not your friends. The Republican Party is screwing you over and over and over and over again. And if you're a farmer or even a rancher, I know the ranchers are saying, hey, beef is doing well. Leave us alone. We're good. We love Trump. Do you really? Your diesel price went up substantially. You still need fertilizer to grow the grass that your cows eat, right?
Do.
And the feed and so much more. Prices are going up and up. I wanted to also talk today about AI centers. Things that I know nothing about. But I want you guys to elaborate a little bit on what an AI center is. You see, these AI centers are coming into your community and they're sucking up water. And we've talked about this before. We're going to talk about it a little bit more today. And I think we're going to get more informed over the next few weeks because there's legislation that's being proposed for the session to go after these guys. And we've been talking about different measures. There is a transmission line that is being brought in from West Texas to San Antonio. It is very, very, very controversial. It's called Howard Solstice. I have never had so many people of all shapes and colors and Democrats and Republicans tell me this is bullshit. And so we were sold the idea of these transmission lines to improve the grid, but it's mostly for these AI centers.
That's what it's become largely about. It's about 400 miles long, 370 miles long, or it could be longer, actually. And they're high wattage. They're 750 kilowatt wires, and it's going to be largely for data centers and for delivery of other kinds of electricity. But it's just the amount of energy needed for a data center is extraordinary, not just because of the energy that's used, but also for the pumping of the water in order to cool the data center. That's my understanding.
Computers, right?
Right. So
computers get hot.
Yeah,
and you need cooling systems.
Yeah,
that needed a lot of water.
And I think whatever you think, it's really hard in Texas because Texas is enormous. It's a huge state. It's huge, and where the wind energy is or where the energy is created is not necessarily where the people live and who need the energy. So you have to transmit it across boundaries, counties, rivers, mountains, valleys, right? It's actually an old problem. We faced this before, right, in scope and magnitude, but this is the biggest, largest, and possibly most deleterious project imaginable, right? And so it's incumbent on everybody, leaders, all of us, to kind of think about this more systematically. Like, what are we trying to do here? What's our goal? And what's the best way to do it?
So this is why Greg Abbott isn't your friend, right? Because we got goddamn, we froze our asses off in 2021.
February.
It was called Winter Storm Uri. And we literally, as a state, got kind of caught with our pants down.
We shouldn't have, though.
We shouldn't have.
Because in 2011, we had something very similar happen.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is that we had blackouts all over the state because everybody's amping up their heating, right? And, but there was some other bullshit that was going on at the same time. And it's a word. It starts with the letter G and it ends with D. What word is that? Not God.
No. Grifted.
Greed.
Oh, that's true.
There was a whole lot of greed going on, and it all started at the governor's mansion, and it ended up over there in the energy transfer guy, whatever his name is, Kelsey Warren.
Allegedly.
I got a whole bunch of shit when I did a video about that.
Yeah, he said it's an open records request.
And what was the open records request?
Just all our communications concerning this issue, all our files concerning certain issues. It was 4 years ago, so it's hard to remember. 5 years ago.
All right, well, so we're going to tell you the story 4 years ago. We're going to fast track over here into now and why these AI centers are going to fuck you over. They're stealing you blind. Companies like AEP and others are going to make millions and millions and billions of dollars, and it's all coming out of your pocket while they get rich, while their shareholders get rich. You see, here's the thing. We don't have these portfolios, these stock portfolios.
I mean, I do collect pizza boxes.
Well, there you go. My wife got some stock in an inheritance. But for the most part, that's just not my own. My old man had a few rental properties, and he believed in real estate. But let's go talk about this here in a real way. It freezes. Blackouts everywhere. It's cold as fuck. This lasted a week. Ted Cruz leaves town and goes to the beach. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He packs his bags. He said, fuck y'all, motherfuckers. I'm out of here. and then he
blamed his wife and his family.
Then the piece of shit blamed his kids. Ted, go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. And I guess that you're on some kind of lifelong apology tour, but you're still a piece of shit. And you did go to the beach into the worst winter storm. When we were packing up my four-wheel drive pickup to whatever Walmart would be open, to Walmart's credit, they gave me 3 different pallets of water at different Walmarts because I had old folks' homes whose power was out, who didn't have water. They were working on generators. They didn't have water to drink. And so we bought them pallets of water. And I got in my four-wheel drive to our peril, myself and Andrew Kovach, one of our faithful stewards. Can you call him a steward?
Didn't you call him aide de camp?
An aide de camp.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's what we did. And we didn't tell anybody about it. And then we took baby formula all the way to Camp Wood, Texas, in Real County, because the Republican, by the way, county judge says, well, we're good on water, but we don't have any baby food, and we've got a lot of people, a lot of women that need formula. And so we did that. I paid for that at Walmart. It was just about half a pallet of that. It was really something, and it was a time where people came together because you had to. And unfortunately, it's also a time when the lieutenant governor, we have this emergency light switch. Imagine some switch in some place inside of ERCOT. That is what does ERCOT stand for?
The Electric Reliability Council of Texas.
There you go. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas. We have our own grid in Texas. We don't share with the rest of the United States.
Through most of Texas. There's parts of Texas that are on other grids.
El Paso and East Texas do tie into the other grids. Somewhere along the line, some greedy son of a bitch in Texas said, we're going to have our own grid. Fuck all of y'all. We don't want to share our energy. When y'all are down, we're not going to help you. Kind of, sort of how it went down. And I'm sure it was all about money somehow, some way.
For sure. It's about money.
And then, so we had our shitty grid, and it all went down. And so the guys that made out were the people that were moving natural gas to companies like CPS, City Public Service, to energy companies that are producing the energy that goes to your homes. And so there was something baked in, a law that said that if it was an emergency situation, the governor could call for this emergency and say that we're in this time, and that the carriers of gas could charge more. But how much were they allowed to charge, Marty?
I mean, I can't remember the exact number, but it was huge.
It's like 900%.
And he left the switch on for
36 hours. It wasn't a day. And the next day it was kind of okay, but he just let it go.
And I think that ETF allegedly made $1 billion in that 36 hours, something like that, something extraordinary.
Well, here's what we know is that the previous year they had like 1 billion, 1.2 billion, and that year they reported 2.4 billion in net revenue.
Yeah.
And so you can extrapolate out all you want. What I do know is that he wrote a $1 million check to Greg Abbott.
Which I think is a little light, honestly.
Well, subsequent checks came down the road
You're
for
right.
$1 million.
You're right.
And so that guy can complain all he wants, and I have no beef with him. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you, that's how you get fucked, and that's how you get screwed. And after all of that, now fast forward to today. That first session, after that, we said, well, that was in a session. It was 2020. We were in session. We said, well, let's fix it, let's fix it, let's fix it. And we did some things to try and fix it. It is noteworthy to say that the piece of shit governor of ours, while Ted Cruz was basking in the sun, the piece of shit governor of ours decides to blame it on windmills and solar panels.
Yeah, gas prices rose because of solar panels,
Yeah.
It's unreal.
because we didn't see the sun.
It's a real shonda because what really happened is that we have been saved by wind and solar the last 6 years.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Most people don't know what Shonda means.
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
It's a real shame. Because this motherfucker said that the windmills froze.
I mean, I'm sure some did, but so did the natural gas pipes, right?
Whatever. Valves.
Valves.
Who knows?
The valves, right?
Who knows? The point here is that for at least that session and into the subsequent session in 23, we kept hearing that natural energy resources like wind and solar were the bad guy.
Yeah.
And the reason, diversification was the reason that, all of the effects of Winter Storm Uri happened, which is just fucking nonsense. Greg Abbott isn't your friend. He's a friend of Kelsey Warren's. He's a friend of the big millionaire types that keep funding him to the tune of over $100 million.
And to me, the real shame of it is that in 2011, we had a similar freeze. And then there was a study done saying, we need to do these 30 things. We only did 3 of them or 4 of them.
That's right.
And then we did an amendment. Now Senator Gutierrez did an amendment saying, let's do the other 27.
What did they say?
They said no.
They said no.
They said no. That's a dumb idea. And we said, no, look, this is a report from 13 fucking years ago. Let's do these things. And they're like, go fuck yourself.
We did a whole bunch of fun amendments and things that were going to be good for people and ratepayers, and they told us to go fuck off. So then we go back in 25. the last session. We're going to fix it some more. And at the same time, there's federal legislation that's going down. Hey, we got to improve the grid nationwide and so on. And so, you know, they sell us on this notion, hey, this is about grid improvement. But we now know that this is about these AI centers because we can do all the other things well, and we can do them right, and we can diversify with wind and solar and maintain natural gas dependency because we should.
Sure.
Nuclear in some instances.
I would hope more. That's my perspective.
Me too. But nevertheless, here we are. But what happens then? Now we have federal legislation and we have state legislation that is saying, oh, we're going to build these transmission lines that we now know are to feed the growth of these AI centers. And in many instances, you have already paid for the rate increases of this stuff that's coming down the pipeline.
And you're already still paying for Uri.
And you're still paying for Uri, and you're going to keep paying for these rate increases. Now, here's the shit of it all. We were in a group. We went out to kind of sort of West Texas, not really.
It's all, if anything west of San Antonio is West Texas to me.
No, I know. I don't consider West Texas, but sort of Winter Garden, but it's still, anyway, it's in the desert. Kinney County, Brackettville, Texas. Beautiful place. It's really Winter Garden. And we were out there in Brackettville. Republicans and Democrats all pissed off about this transmission line. And I think that they were expecting me to be for the transmission line. I said, well, wait a minute, I'm not for this either. Because they didn't want it in, it's a NIMBY issue, right? Not in my backyard, not over my ranch, not over these environmental areas. And now after I see what I think I see, I think I now know why these routes are being looked at. I mean, it's pretty cynical of me. Because if we're going to have to swallow this shit, we've said no to all these routes over all the ecological areas, over all the environmental areas, over all the aquifers. Our office has said, hell no, you don't do that. Just go down. If we're going to have to swallow this pill, come down the roadway that is I-10. It's an interstate roadway where we have right-of-way, easements, so on, where you can do these kinds of power lines if we have to have them, right? And so all the constituents, they're okay with that, but AEP's not, and the PUC's not.
We don't know what the PUC wants today.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out in August. But they're not, because they're going to this other circuitous way that I keep being told is shorter, but it isn't. And it's certainly some pristine land. It's certainly a lot of environmental concerns that I have. And by the way, Republicans and Democrats are lockstep against these power lines. So this is not a partisan issue. They're pissed off about what it's for, the AI centers. But when I found out yesterday, and then I looked at the federal legislation, you're going to have to talk about this, Marty. So get ready.
I'll do my best. I'm mostly ignorant of it, though. So,
transmission line, guaranteed rate of return. So these companies like AEP, when they build these things, they're so expensive and so quote unquote risky that they have to get paid. But we know how they got paid. They got paid through the ratepayers.
sure. Or the bond ratepayers, or however you paid for it, right?
Or it's paid for. But these private companies in the legislation, in the federal legislation, carve out a regulatory mechanism ensuring that the utility companies earn a fixed, authorized profit.
It's the transmission companies, right?
It says utility companies, but I'm pretty sure it's companies like AEP,
Right. Yes.
because AEP is the transmission company that's building this thing
Right.
and bringing that energy. They're just going to charge the end user CPS, and CPS is just going to charge you. They're going to charge people in Austin. They're going to charge people in Houston. Wherever the lines are from, we're giving you an example of one line. This is happening across Texas and across the United States. I want to be clear. The federal legislation has a guaranteed mechanism. U.S. senators and U.S. congresspeople created a law that guarantees them a profit between 8 and 12% of the infrastructure investment. So let me put this in perspective. Howard Solstice is probably going to be an easy billion. Let's just use that for shits and grins. $1 billion, right? That means that AEP, right off the top, before they ever sold or moved one bit of energy moved down a line, they profit $120 million.
Yes. Except that their costs are probably, I'm not sure that that's their actual profit because there are the costs, right? So
I'm pretty sure their profit is more than that, by the way, Marty.
it could be. No, that's certainly true.
This is a regulatory mechanism
Yes.
that they get a rate of return. It's an authorized return on equity. That is what it's called by regulators, by FERC. An authorized, tell viewers what FERC is.
Sorry. Federal Electric Regulatory Council, I believe.
Yeah, you got it. Now, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
Sorry, folks.
Well, just a commission, commissioners, just like, you know, the Federal Reserve Board, right? You got commissioners. But people, the law is created by legislators in Washington. And these old boys, you wonder how those people in Washington are so rich. If you were going to draft a law and say, we want energy for our people, we want the grid to be better. Hey, but don't worry. I've baked in a profit for you into the legislation. How does that make you feel, George?
If I was the energy company,
Or a shareholder of AEP, maybe you're going to go buy AEP stock now.
oh yeah,
Utilities receive guaranteed revenue, sometimes called guaranteed annual revenue, GAR, by including capital investments in their rate-based. Regulators like FERC or state commissions determine a just and reasonable rate of return. So
Yeah.
ERCOT gets to call out a just and reasonable. Guess what they did in Texas? It was 12.
Yeah.
It was 12. Specific incentive adders may increase authorized returns for certain projects. Impact on stakeholders. Lower risk for utilities and higher costs for ratepayers. This has killed ratepayers in California. And now they're bringing that shit over here. And it's not the Californians. We're not Californianizing Texas or whatever the fuck. It's greedy people in Washington, D.C.
And Austin.
and this governor who are not your friend. And they expect you to just fucking sit here and swallow it and take it because you need the lights on. You need the heater on in the winter. And you're just going to find a way to pay for it. I think we all just need to shut our lights off. I don't know what we're going to do, man. I mean, I'm telling you that we're getting screwed over on this deal in a real big way. And we're going to spend some time on this. Because when Donald Trump says, oh, I don't know what affordability is, well, of course not. You're fucking stealing from us every day, right?
Yeah, you've also never been to a grocery store in your life, probably. Right?
Never had to buy gas himself.
Never.
Probably doesn't drive.
Probably doesn't
When's the
drive.
last time Donald Trump drove something other than a golf cart?
Like, I don't know. He was in front of that fire truck the one time, but I don't know if he drove
I
it.
don't think he drove it.
Yeah.
When was the last time you think he drove a car? Last Sunday, I know, the golf cart.
Right. No. Never. Probably. I'm gonna guess he actually probably doesn't know.
Did you see that creepy shit last week in the golf cart where he sees that young girl and he says, "Whoa." He says, look, you got a body there or some shit. This guy is a sick motherfucker.
I think it's just forever the 1980s in his head as he's sundowning. It's just
it's like Caddyshack.
It's like
YMCA.
Rodney Dangerfield or something. But that's not even fair to Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, this son of a bitch.
He probably feels the same way. I get no respect at all.
Oh, fuck. This motherfucker thinks he's Jesus Christ. We all know that.
He does think that.
And a doctor.
Yeah. No, he was. Fucking guy.
He's Jesus. He's a doctor. He's a stable genius.
Fucking nuts.
The screwing actually gets worse than that
Yeah.
because data centers get a sales tax exemption. And it costs us billions, well, about $750 million a year. We're subsidizing data centers. They should be paying $1 billion in sales tax for their delivery of their services. They're only paying a quarter of that. And it's only going to get worse as there's more data centers, unless it's the exemptions removed.
So there's this group that's got some, excuse me for looking a little rough today. We were doing construction. I was doing construction today since the Battle of Flowers. It's a big parade in San Antonio. We have a thing called Fiesta. Everybody's having fun. My wife keeps nagging me. That's not nice. Sorry, honey. She wants to go to Nyosa. It's called a night in old San Antonio. And she wants a gordita, which is not fat shaming. A gordita is like a tortilla sandwich. I don't know what's a gordita.
Yeah, it's basic. Yeah, it's like a big
corn-filled,
beefy sandwich.
a corn-filled tortilla that is kind of, it's not bread, but
It's like puffy.
puffy, like a gyro or some shit, and you fill it with meat and lettuce and tomato. I keep telling her I can do this shit at home.
It's like a Mexican shawarma.
Sure.
Sure, something. So she is like on my. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. I have cursed less today.
She's on your case.
I've cursed more. I'm filling it in for you.
Okay, good.
So,
And so she's on my case. She's on my case. She wants the gordita. I don't know that she's going to get it. Gordita means, fat.
Like a little fat
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, but it's not. Anyway, that's what she wants. I'm not talking about anybody that's overweight.
You're not Charles Barkley.
I'm not Charles Barkley, who fat shamed all of San Antonio women in general.
And now he does commercials for GLP-1 inhibitors or whatever.
Yeah, he's a mess. He's a hot mess. But here's the deal. I digressed a bit, but Marty is right. We got screwed on the front end, in the middle, and on the back end of this thing. We might do something about this, I think. We're going to try. We're looking at something, Marty and I and some of these stakeholders that want to fight back and push back. There is some legislation coming forth that's going to be proposed by a Republican because, interestingly enough, because unfortunately this place is controlled by Republicans and
for now.
And that's why you need to vote, because I don't trust any of them, even the ones that are proposing this legislation, because it always has some back-end shit to it. We'll file our own legislation, of course. But we might do more than that. So stay tuned on what we might do. Stay tuned.
Can I add a layer to the shit sandwich?
Mm.
On the data centers, they are also, wherever they're being built, they're guzzling at least as much water as the community is. So even small data centers are guzzling 300,000 gallons of water per year, which is nuts. And I'm almost sure that they're not paying the same rates that we are on our water.
That's for sure. They pay an industrial rate, and we pay a residential rate.
And so there's no legislation, by the way, on how to get rid of the water. We would like them to recycle and all this stuff, but even then it has to be cleaned. It's going to have PVC,
microplastics,
and God knows what. But all of this shit is just fucking nonsense because in China, they don't want these damn things. What's a data center anyway? Tell us. George, you were mentioning earlier, what's it do? It fixes latency, makes our phone go faster so your kid can TikTok faster?
It's just a server.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. A lot of these are what we would have, I think, called server farms back in the day. And from what I understand, a lot of them are meant to reduce latency. So basically creating backups of like the sites that, people use, basically kind of like decentralizing all of the data on the internet so that the pages that you're pulling up load faster. So yeah, you can TikTok faster. You can buy shit on Amazon.
Have you ever seen a teenager TikTok and Instagram and all that shit? They're like,
always.
They're just like the fastest motherfuckers I've ever seen. They're just fucking swiping up and down and sideways. And I'm wondering how in the world they're reading all this shit. I'm having all sorts of problems at home with this. I think there's a goddamn phone addiction. I don't know how we get people to read again, like books. Not on your computer, actual books.
I mean, look, audiobooks are fine.
I don't know, bro.
I mean, as long as you're consuming...
No, come on.
A little bit.
As long as you're consuming, literature, right?
Yeah.
It helps out people with, like, dyslexia.
I'm not Archie Bunker or anything. I'm just saying I'm a little old-fashioned,
You're a step away from calling us meatheads.
Well, he looks like Rob Reiner.
Oh,
May you rest in peace, Rob Reiner.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. I appreciate it.
You do. You're smart like Rob Reiner, too.
Mm-hmm.
There was this... Do you know that I started this LBJ kind of movie-ish documentary thing last night on Netflix.
I don't know that.
It's called LBJ. Woody Harrelson plays LBJ.
Yeah, I think I've seen some excerpts, maybe.
Yeah, I was falling asleep because I was so tired. It's directed by Rob Reiner.
Oh, wow.
And so you should... That was interesting to me.
Have you read, like, Master of the Senate or Rise of Ascent, Means of Ascent?
I read a few of the Cato books, the beginning, the first one.
Yeah, that's a really good book. That's a really good book.
I think I got to, like, halfway through. And then
You should think about Master of the Senate. It's the best one of the series of 4 or 5. So
I can't even be the master of my own
That's
house.
all right. Me
The
neither.
master of the Senate. That dude, it was a different time, a different era. And the other thing was, it was just different, right? And the other thing is nobody likes me.
He had 67 Democrats in the Senate.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to do that.
When you're controlling the show.
I mean, they lost a bunch in 1952.
I think some of our Democrats don't like me. I think they
No,
think,
come on.
well, shit, I just want to go. I'm a pretty progressive dude on most things. I get it. I'm pretty fiscally conservative. Everybody likes to say that, whatever that means. But at the end of the day, I mean, you should have health care, guaranteed, universal, free health care. You should have we should have a regulation on auto insurance and home insurance that caps rate increases substantially. We're getting killed in our auto insurance and our health insurance. These people don't give a shit about you. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. And I'm not going to sit there and play this middle of the road game, go along to get along like so many other people do in the legislature and people on my side of the aisle as well. Fuck that. Go push, fight. It's the only way we got $100 million for farmers was an amendment I passed. I wanted $100 million for school kids, too. We didn't get that because they don't care about kids.
But we will. We'll get it. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we pushed for... Hell, we had an auto insurance requirement for teachers. Teachers get paid shit in Texas. I wanted the state of Texas to pay for their auto insurance because it was rising so much. They didn't vote for that amendment either.
It was a $1,500 stipend, and it was on the teacher pay raise bill. And we estimated that it would cost about $450 million, something like that.
That was nothing.
No, it wasn't. I mean, not nothing, but it wasn't huge, right? And they said no.
They didn't give a shit about it. They're not teachers' friends. If you're a teacher and you're a Republican, there's something wrong with you. Sorry. Farmers, they're not your friends. Ratepayers at home, they're not your friends. If you're a rancher in the hill country and you don't want that power line over your beautiful, pristine ranch, they're not your friends. If you're over the Devil's River in Texas, they're not your friends. these Republicans, this governor, have machinated away with these AI deals to screw you over. And they figured this out at the federal level, and they've figured it out at the state level, where these companies get a guaranteed rate of return. It's bullshit. It's not right. It's not fair. And we must stop this madness. Before we go today, because we're going to get back to AI centers because it's so intriguing to me as this thing plays out and unfolds. But before we go, anything new on the whole Epstein? You know, he's just like every day. He loves the war. He loves the war.
Mm.
He loves the war because he's manipulating the shit out of the market. And we don't talk about Epstein.
That's probably true. I mean, allegedly true, possibly true.
You can say it if you think he's a pedophile.
I don't have any opinion about his sexual proclivities one way or the other. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Trump in coitus. But this week, I think I read that Ghislaine Matthews' lawyer sent a USB device to the DOJ lawyer, Maxwell. Did I say Matthews?
Yeah.
I apologize. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer sent a USB with pieces of evidence to the DOJ. And she sent that on April 17th. A week later, that's when Melania did the press conference. So we've been all thinking about and conjecturing, frankly, about Amanda Ungaro and Paolo Zampoli. But it may be this USB that has evidence on it. The reason why anyone knows about it is because it's part of a court filing.
Release the USB, Donald.
Yeah.
Release the USB.
Release the USB files.
Because, you know, here's the deal, man. The dude's full of shit. He's a fucking con artist. He's worthless. He's not worthless. You got a lot of money. Your money. He's stealing you blind, robbing you blind every day. But every day he goes back and forth on this fucking Iran deal. He's gotten his ass kicked all over the place. It was never about regime change. Did y'all get that video I sent you, the United States of Israel? Wasn't that funny?
Yes. Yeah, I've been an avid watcher of the
Was that
Iran Lego movie music videos.
Y'all got to check that out. The Iran Lego movie videos. They're all over the place, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere else. There's a long version that came out yesterday. He's Netanyahu's bitch, I think they call him. And it kind of just goes down. And 100% true. 100%. I mean, we've been so screwed. But you got to think to yourself, I'd never seen anybody fight so much from not having something divulged on this Epstein thing. And he was always deflecting, and there was always some new crisis and always some new deal where we'd stop talking about Epstein for like 2 or 3 days or 4 days or maybe even a week. And then people would get back to Epstein. But now this is the Epstein kryptonite.
And money-making machine.
Yes, and money-making machine, because he says something, stock goes up, says something else goes down, he sells it again, up and down, and like a roller coaster, his family's making money left and right. The rich friends are making money left and right. If you're in the stock market, good for you. The rest of us are all broke.
Yeah.
Well, I just got breaking news that he is sending Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to finish in Iran what J.D. Vance could not.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah,
I guess
so the real
golf
squeezes
course.
in. Yeah.
Another golf course, another fucking
Trump
series of-
Iran.
Oh. Trump Tehran.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They both.
Capital, right? Tehran?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, TNT. Oh, he's going to love that.
Yeah.
Trump Tehran.
Yes. Well, anyway, folks, that's where we are today. It's a Friday. Sorry, you're going to catch this over the weekend and middle of next week, and we'll hit you up with an O1 hopefully on Wednesday. You're getting fucked in a big way on this AEP thing, on this Howard Solstice line. And keep an eye on it. Make sure your local newspaper writes about it.
Call your leaders, man.
Call your leaders.
Yeah.
Because the more I look at it, and these Texas for Responsible Energy are pushing back, which is great. We've got a whole bunch of people in West Texas and in that garden, winter garden, that want to push back. We're going to help them push back. We've got to tell the truth. That's what Fortitude's about. We're living through pain. We've got a lot of pain going on for so many people. We've got to keep going forward for the next 2 years, and we're going to get through this together. We're going to keep this show on at once a week at least for the next 2.5 years. What do you say?
2.5 years?
Yes.
It's very optimistic.
But I'm going on vacation soon, so
There'll be a brief hiatus.
I'll zoom in.
I just want to say, as a former actor, having a guaranteed 2.5 years in a media position sounds pretty good to me.
If we could only get paid.
Well,
Did I mention the drinking water? Sponsors, we're waiting. Y'all have a great night.